Hello, my friends. Let me do that one more time. Hello, my friends. I don't know why, but these glasses just want me to speak in an English accent. We feel quite like Harry Potter, don't we? So, today, my friends, we are going to talk about the current energy, the current things that you may be going through. And as I speak on this, know that if it is for you, it is for you. I pray over every single person that receives this message that may you receive the clarity, may you receive the confirmation, may you receive the blessing and the favor over your life that you have been asking for, that you have been ready to receive. And when you speak out into the world, when you tell God that you are ready to receive, you will receive. And so this is a indicator of that. This is a way of you receiving at this time. So I am speaking to the people. This is the same collective as in the prior messages. I'm speaking to the people who have gone through many changes in a rather short amount of time. And the changes may have looked external, right? Like you probably moved recently. You maybe did something really drastic with leaving a certain relationship behind, or that could include romantic, platonic, or a career-driven relationship, a business relationship. And you know that you are in a time of elevation. You are in a time of really growing from a place of clarity, from a place of trust, and from a place of authenticity. Okay? Because in the past, you may have been moving internally and externally. You may have been moving without clear direction. You may have been moving without clear intention. You may have been moving without clear defined values. Okay? And because of that, you had reached a point where you needed to either stop altogether, or God gave you situations, God put you in environments, God may have given you some tests to really reflect and consider and revise and revisit things that no longer serve, okay? Things that no longer serve the highest path, but also the highest good for yourself and for this collective, for the collective. So now that you have kind of already gone through these experiences, you've already gone through what it is to take action from a place of lack, and take action from a place of confusion, and take action from a place of feeling unworthy, okay? Or feeling prideful even. Now that you have experienced what that is, and maybe had to have lost things in that process, now that you are ready, now that you have a more stable foundation, your foundation is built on faith. Your foundation is built in the true, undeniable trust that you are exactly where you are meant to be, And God will not give you anything that you are not ready for, that you are not a match for, okay? Because that's another thing, you guys. That's another thing. It is one thing to ask for something, and it is another to be ready to receive it. So when we ask God, when we pray to God, when we really put our whole heart out there, right? There may be times where the only focus is that you just don't want to deal with the present, right? You don't want to deal with the discomfort. You don't want to deal with those feelings of inadequacy. You don't want to deal with those feelings of I'd really rather be in another situation right now, right? And that resistance to surrendering to that moment, to surrendering to your present state, even if you say, oh, I really want this, I pray that this will happen, but this, that, right? You are still asking from a place of lack, okay? And God, you can't lie to God, because God knows every single detail about you. Anything that you try to hide, anything that you try to cover, anything that you try to bypass, God can see. God can see through you. God knows you. God created you. Okay, so maybe you can fool other people. Maybe you can even fool yourself sometimes, but you cannot fool God. And you know this. You know this. You know this. That's why there has been moments in the past where you were hiding. That's why there were moments in the past where in ways you self-sabotage. It's really real. It's real, you guys. So this isn't to put anyone in a place of shame. This isn't about that. You've already felt the shame because you instilled that shame upon yourself, okay? That's done. That's in the past. We already felt it. We've already embraced it. We've already let it go. Now you are in the present. You're in the present moment. And in this present moment, you are ready to receive. In this present moment, you are elevating. In this present moment, God is giving you what you asked for. So at this time, that preparation, that waiting period that you were in, that period of refinement, now it is coming into a close, right? It is coming into practice. What you were doing in that season was preparing, was refining, okay? And refinement is very important, you guys, because this isn't something that is a one and done deal. You are constantly being refined by God. You are constantly being used by God. And when your will is not in alignment with God's will, you will see how there will be an internal battle, as well as that being manifested in the external circumstances of continuous resistance, of continuous letdown, of continuous rejection, all these things. Because there is a misalignment with your will and God's will. Okay? So, now that we have that clear foundation, that strong, that stable foundation, you are building, right? You are building yourself. You are building that house. You are building that house with the deepest, most stable roots that you can possibly have. Okay? It is no longer a house of cards. It is no longer a house of cards. Okay? And for this collective, moving forward to make your house a home, okay? To make your house a home, you must be willing to step into the roles that are required of you. Okay? So, for example, let me paint a picture here. Let's say you get a new house, right? You get a new house. Maybe this house at one point was abandoned, okay? And now you have this house and you are literally able to completely transform it in the way that you want, right? You are the creator. And you get to paint it the way that you want. You get to, remodel the kitchen if you want. You get to furnish it. You get to, even you get to invite who gets to come in, right? You get to do the yard work, right? You get to even prepare what the exterior of the house is even before going inside. So there's all these aspects of what makes a home, okay? And this is metaphorically, okay? But it could be literally for you too, but in a metaphorical sense. So you, as now you are in charge of this house, right? You are in charge of this house. What role are you stepping into, right? Are you going to be the one to paint the house, right? Are you the painter of the house? Does the house need some, maybe there's a room that needs a new closet. Are you a builder, right? Are you a builder in the house? Maybe outside it needs a complete, you want to put a garden in there. Are you the gardener? Are you the landscaper? Are you the electrician? Are you, like, there's so many roles, right? And you can be several of these roles. But the question right now is, which is the role that you are being called to step into in this present moment? And this may become clear to you, clearer to you within the next week. Within the next week, this is going to become very clear to you what role you are stepping into, what role you are here to fulfill and here to do, okay? And maybe you have had glimpses of it. Maybe you have had moments of, maybe I could do that. Maybe that path was opened, but there was still some hesitation. There was still maybe distractions. There was still subconscious beliefs that had to be worked through in order to get over those blockages, right? So it will become clear to you, okay? It will become clear to you, and trust that God is speaking to you in more ways that you can imagine, okay? God is always speaking to you. Confirmation. God is always speaking to you. God is always sending you signals and signs, and in the most unexpected ways sometimes, okay? In the most unexpected ways. So for the person who is listening to this, be open to receiving the signs and the confirmation that you need in ways that you have yet to expect, right? Maybe you had a certain attachment to how God spoke to you, okay? Maybe you had a certain way of seeing things that felt familiar to you, that felt comforting, right? But what God is asking of you now that you are stepping into, and really anchoring in the role that you have been called here to do, you are being asked to widen your perspective, okay? Because if the perspective is this little tiny little narrow little thing, that's all you're going to see. You're just going to see through that tiny little tiny lens, right? But the more that you widen your perspective, the more that you'll be able to see God in everything that you do. You will be able to see God in every waking moment. You will be able to witness and embrace God in the most creative ways, because God is ever present. God is omnipresent. God is omnipotent, okay? So, your homework, if you want some homework, if you're one of those people, if you want some homework for this week, be open to receiving and seeing God in ways that you may not have expected in the past, okay? Be open to receiving, all right? I love you guys, and I will see you in the next video. And if you haven't already, subscribe to this channel. Also, I am on Substack. My newsletter is linked in my bio. I'm also on Instagram and Threads at iam.leilani. And yeah, follow me there. See you guys.